Stephen A. Smith thinks the Los Angeles Lakers had the best offseason amongst all 30 teams in the National Basketball Association. Did they? I'm going to give you my thoughts on that coming up in a second, but I want all of you to pull out the red pen and grade the Lakers offseason. I want to know what all of you think, how Rob Pelinka was able to rebuild this team this offseason. Grade it for me, A, B, C, D, or F. For me, I think it was a great season. Was it the best? I'll expand on that coming up in a second. But I do believe that Rob Pelinka has been a top 5 decision maker for an organization since the NBA trade deadline in 2023. I thought he crushed the NBA trade deadline, and I thought he made some really good moves this offseason, including bringing in Gabe Vincent. I'll continue to say it because I love it. I love the yin and yang nature of Gabe Vincent and D'Angelo Russell. They really complement each other well, and what they do is somewhat the weakness of the other players. So I think that's a good combo of your point guards. I like taking a flyer on Cam Reddish. There's a lot of talent there. We know that. He's had some big-time games in the NBA, but he's had a lot more lows than highs, and if there's anybody in the National Basketball Association that can get Cam Reddish to play the type of basketball that people think he can still do, it's LeBron James. Jackson Hayes, I think, fits really well with this team as well. Good rim running big, extremely explosive, and he'll be able to spell Anthony Davis some games if he wants to sit out due to rest. Taurean Prince, 3 and D. You can never have too many of those guys. And I love the buy low, low risk, high reward of Christian Wood. I think he's one of the most offensively talented bigs in this league, but there's a lot of stuff that has held him back from being the guy that a lot of people thought he could be. Can he do that next to LeBron and AD? I love taking the flyer on him. The Lakers also did a good job of retaining a lot of their own players. Anthony Davis, he's back on a mega extension. They signed Austin Reaves to what I believe is the second most valuable deal in the NBA behind Jalen Brunson, less than $50 million right at about $50 million for 4 years. That was a steal for the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell, you get him back on a 1+1 deal, easily tradable as well. I love also keeping the 2 young forwards, Rui Hachimura and Jarred Vanderbilt. I thought he did a really good job this year, and there's no two ways about it. The Lakers did have a great season. Stephen A. Smith, he says a lot of fluff sometimes, to be kind to him, but he's right on this one. But with the offseason they have had, it ups the expectations. It was cool seeing the Lakers get to the conference finals last year. The expectation, though, is to now compete in the conference finals and get back on the biggest stage this sport has. Let's see what Stephen A. says about the Lakers. Quote, when you look at them, it's not just about the offseason. It's what the Lakers have done since the trade deadline. That's what I said. I'm telling you what I know. If that trade deadline didn't happen, Rob Pelinka would have been out. Jeannie Buss was going to pull the plug. Rob Pelinka has done an outstanding job. I'm just looking at the continuity they kept in place with the acquisitions of Gabe Vincent from Miami, who showed me something. I like what they have done. And I think the Lakers are going to be very, very formidable, and LA is going to be a destination spot this NBA season. I think the Lakers got a chance. Look, anytime you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on your roster, you're going to have a chance to be a serious contender in the NBA. And I think that is what the Lakers are going to be yet again this year. Before we get into more about what Stephen A. said and the outlook of this roster, I want to tell you guys about an awesome sponsor we got, PrizePicks. It's my favorite sponsor here on Chat Sports, and it's because you can win real money playing daily fantasy sports. PrizePicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS, and they are going to match your initial deposit with up to 100%. Match up to $100. PrizePicks is awesome. This is what it is. PrizePicks is going to give you stat totals for individual players, whether it be season-long or individual games. Right now, it's season-long totals for LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You pick 2 or more players, up to 6. The more players you have on your lineup, the more money you're going to win. You just select more with a little tap, and you also can select less if you think the player's not going to meet that stat total. Daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2+ players, and you just choose more or less. Instant payouts. It's awesome. None of the stuff that you think might seem a little sketchy is represented with PrizePicks. It's awesome. It's a great app. You're going to love it. The link, prizepicks.com/CLNS, will be in the comments and description. Just remember, you got to use that promo code CLNS as well for the deal to apply. I want to go back a little bit to last year. I thought Stephen A. made a good point, kind of saying exactly what I've been saying about this team for a while. They changed their identity, and they changed the outlook on their immediate future with the moves they were able to make at the NBA trade deadline. Look at the record leading up to that. They were 25-31 prior to the trade deadline. Some of that due to injuries to LeBron and Anthony Davis. But whenever you watched this team, it was always like they are just missing something. They need to add something else. They need to find a way to improve the roster around the top dogs in AD and LeBron. After the trade deadline, they were able to succeed because of the moves they made prior to that deadline. A record of 25-31 prior to that got flipped on its head. 10 games above 500, 18-8. And I think it's safe to say the Lakers in the regular season, in the second half of the year, they were a top 3 team in the NBA, and they just ran into an absolute juggernaut in the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. I think all of them are itching for a rematch, and as they're retooled and reloaded this year, I think it's going to be a much closer series. Did the Lakers have the best offseason in the NBA this year? I want to hear from all of you in the comments section right now. I'm curious what you think. If they're not top 1, I think they're top 5, and they ain't 5. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think Austin Reaves, getting him back on the steal of a deal you got him on, was kind of the needle mover for me because that gives you the flexibility that you wanted to maintain and the ability to make more moves without suffering from potentially paying Austin Reaves $100 million, which was rumored prior to free agency. Reaves agrees, though, with Stephen A. I would argue we probably have the most talented roster in the NBA, top to bottom. I love that he believes in this team. I don't exactly agree with what he has to say, but this team is deep, and they have some dogs. I mean, we know LeBron and AD. Just got D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura. We love the addition of Gabe Vincent. Cam Reddish, he's going to be a little bit of a wild card. Can he give you anything? I like the draft pick of Jalen Hood-Schifino. Prince is a good guy that's going to be able to knock down some threes. He can get super hot in the game and take over. We saw him do that last year for Minnesota. You got Wood as well as Hayes coming off the bench at that 4 and 5. You got the Joker on defense and Jarred Vanderbilt. This team is deep, no doubt about it. The only thing that the Lakers lack still, in my opinion, is an elite point guard. And I know you could say we got LeBron James, but at the end of the day, you need someone that can create and initiate an offense outside of LeBron. Could that potentially be Austin Reaves? We've seen him more so as just a scorer on this team. We saw in the World Cup games this offseason, he kind of took more of a defensive-minded role as well as a playmaking role. Can he evolve and become more of a playmaker for this team? You don't need someone to just dominate the basketball next to LeBron. But you do need to have someone that LeBron respects, which LeBron does for Austin Reaves, that can initiate the offense. When was LeBron at his best? Playing next to another ball-dominant guard in Dwayne Wade and playing next to another dominant ball guard in Kyrie Irving. Could Austin Reaves be the next guy on that list of dominant guards LeBron played with? I think he can. I think he's a super talented player and one of the best finishers of the basketball around the rim. I want to do this, though. At Chat Sports, we're trying to up our NBA coverage. And what we do best is watch parties. And I want to bring it to the Lakers report. If you want live watch parties for NBA regular season games this year, I need you to subscribe. Rumor has it, if we get to 52,000 subs prior to night 1, we're going live for the opener. So if you want it, do it. Hit that big red button right now. A couple of key dates to remember as we are closing out the offseason and getting ready for training camp and the regular season. Right around the corner. Media Day is just a couple of days away on October 2nd. Then October 3rd, training camp opens. The preseason opener versus the Dubs is on the 7th. And then opening night, a rematch of the Western Conference Finals. That is going to be a doozy. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the Lakers Report. Longer video today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. If you made it this far in the show, that means you're a real one. So type it, real one, down in the comments so I know who finished the video.